Good afternoon. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 is raised over 2 areas in northern Luzon as Typhoon Ofel maintains its strength. Based on Pagaso's 11 a.m. bulletin on Wednesday, November 13, signal number 2 is up over the eastern portion of mainland Cagayan and the eastern portion of Isabela, where there is minor to moderate threat to life and property from gale force winds. Signal number 1 is hoisted over 13 other areas where minimal to minor impacts are expected from strong winds. According to Pag-asa, Ofel was spotted 485 kilometers east-northeast of Daet, Camarines Norte, packing maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Ofel is currently moving west-northwestward at 20 kilometers per hour. Isabela, Cagayan, and Catanduanes may experience moderate to heavy rains from Wednesday to Thursday afternoon, November 14. Pag-asa forecasts Ofel to steadily intensify before making landfall at peak intensity along the eastern coast of Cagayan or Isabela on Thursday afternoon. However, the State Weather Bureau emphasizes that hazards on land and coastal waters may still be experienced in areas outside the landfall point. Meanwhile, Pag-asa is monitoring Tropical Storm Manny outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility, which may enter the region by Thursday evening and assigned the name Pepito. Manny is forecast to intensify into a severe tropical storm on a Wednesday and reach typhoon category by Thursday afternoon or evening. Pag-asa is also not ruling out the possibility of Manny becoming a super typhoon prior to landfall over the eastern coast of Luzon on November 16 or 17. Former President Rodrigo Duterte is finally facing the House Quad Committee's drug war hearing, a meeting that was initially cancelled but eventually pushed through. Duterte arrives at the Batasang Pambansa Complex's People's Center at 9:57 a.m. on Wednesday, November 13. He is accompanied by his former spokesperson, lawyer Salvador Panelo. Wednesday's Quadcom hearing was initially cancelled after Quad Committee Presiding Officer Robert Ace Barber said that they still have to review and verify testimonies. However, Duterte supporters on social media called out the Quad Committee, claiming that the former president was prepared to face the 4 panels. Barber said that Duterte never confirmed he was attending before the Quad Committee leadership decided to reschedule the hearing. At around 2:56 a.m. on Wednesday, House Secretary General Reginald Velasco said the hearing would now push through. Duterte's name has been mentioned several times in the Quad Committee's probe into extrajudicial killings during his administration's anti-drug campaign. At previous hearings, retired Police Colonel Royina Garma verified the supposed existence of a reward system in Duterte's drug war. According to Garma, Duterte called her in 2016 about creation of a task force which will implement the so-called Davao template on a national scale. During the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee hearing on October 28, Duterte disputed Garma's claims, saying the former police official was supposedly lying. The China Coast Guard harasses and blocks a Filipino boat from entering Escoda Shoal twice in October, according to a fisherman. In a handwritten sworn statement, boat captain Arnel Lepalam says Filipino fishing boat Hadasa attempted to enter Escoda Shoal on October 8 and on October 17, but both of their attempts were blocked by China Coast Guard personnel. Lepalam says their boat was on the way to Escoda on October 8 when they began to spot China Coast Guard personnel about 8 nautical miles away from Abad Santos Shoal, which is situated between Palawan and Escoda Shoal. At around 4 a.m. on October 9, the fishermen aboard Hadasa also saw a China Coast Guard ship with hull number 4108 about 26 nautical miles east of Escoda Shoal. About 60 nautical miles east of Escoda, another China Coast Guard ship with hull number 5203 deployed a speedboat to apprehend the Filipino fishers and prevent them from entering the sandbanks vicinity waters. Lepalam says they got scared and started heading towards Abad Santos Shoal, but the China Coast Guard and its speedboat tailed Hadasa. On October 17, in another attempt to go to Escoda Shoal, Lepalam says they were approached by a gray ship at a relatively close distance of 3 nautical miles. China Coast Guard 4103 also approached Hadasa once more, honking their horns at the Filipino fishers to prevent their entrance to Escoda. Escoda Shoal is located 75 nautical miles from the coast of mainland Palawan, while within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. China asserts sovereignty over most of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea. But a 2016 arbitral award effectively invalidated Beijing's claims and affirmed China's exclusive sovereign rights over the West Philippine Sea. Defense Secretary Teodoro says there is an increasing demand by Beijing for Manila to give up its claims in the heavily disputed South China Sea despite the 2016 arbitral ruling that invalidated China's sweeping claims in the strategic waterway. At a press briefing in Canberra, Australia, Teodoro says China is putting more pressure on the Philippines to concede its sovereign rights in the West Philippine Sea, adding that Manila is a direct victim of Beijing's aggressions. In the face of growing Chinese aggression in the disputed sea, Teodoro says the Philippine government continues to be vigilant on a 360-degree basis, particularly in its exclusive economic zone. Teodoro also criticizes China for engaging in discussions and consultations with the Philippines, but not having the resolve to end the maritime dispute in the South China Sea. Aside from illegal Chinese activities in the West Philippine Sea, Teodoro says the Philippines is also combating what he describes as malign influence of Chinese nationals in the illegal economies in the Philippines, including the proliferation of criminal activity and the use of fake citizenships. Teodoro is in his first official visit to Australia and met with his Australian counterpart, Richard Marles. According to Teodoro, the meeting between the two defense chiefs reflects deeper security ties between the Philippines and Australia, both of whom expressed concern about Chinese activity in areas of the South China Sea claimed by the Philippines and other Southeast Asian nations. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.